morning. This is Rick Gleason and Don King from the University of Washington Heartbeat of Worker Health and Safety. And we appreciate you listening to us this week. Our special guest this week is Ron Fouty. And Ron is the safety director of our Capital Projects Office at the University of Washington, where all the new buildings that we're having built, they oversee that. Ron, why don't you tell us a little bit about the department and how many projects you guys got going on, and how safety works into that?
Yeah, that sounds great. First off, thank you for having me on. I appreciate this opportunity to speak about one thing that I'm particularly passionate about, which is construction safety. So capital planning and development is actually a larger organization now than just our projects. We also have the Office of the University Architect, and we have the Office of Real Estate for the university, work for the same organization. And really the focus is about the space that the university has and how we best utilize that space. One of the important parts of that, of course, is building and restoring the existing buildings that we happen to have. Right now at the University of Washington, we have, I think, 9 major projects that are going on, and this would be a project that is essentially $25 million in value and more. Of those 9 major projects, currently 4 of them are inclusive of brand new square footage, brand new buildings that we have happening out here for the university. Additionally, we've got 2 future buildings, one of which is a big addition to our computer sciences and engineering, which is just beginning to get underway. And the other one is a big initiative you may have heard about, which is the population health building, which, as I understand it, is going to be a cross-disciplinary building that is just focused on public health. So we're fairly busy at this point. I think the value of the largest building that we have at this particular juncture is right around $250 million worth of project here. We have 4 tower cranes in the air. We have right about 450 construction workers employed at this particular point. Of course, that's variable depending on the phase of our project. And just overall, it's great. We've got 40 minor projects. Those would be projects at a value of less than $25 million, but in excess of $90,000 underway. And generally speaking, keeps us fairly busy out here.
Boy, I guess that's a lot. Hey, tell us how it works, like a new building. So we hire a general contractor, and we probably tell them, hey, you got to keep everyone on this whole construction site safe. But what's our role as the owner in that process?
Well, it's really very interesting. We've got several different tools that we can use out here for employing contractors, and those include progressive design build and construction manager / general contractor, and then a straight design bid build where we hire a general contractor in, and then they hire subcontractors under them. So we also use job order contracting, which is an organization that is essentially working for us for a given period of time, doing some of the smaller projects we have out here. So one of the things that it's critically important to us to make sure that all of the workers that are on our job sites are performing their work safely and essentially going home in as good or better condition than what they happen to show up to work as, and hopefully better condition. There are a lot of steps that we take in order to assure that that happens. During the design phase, currently, we do sort of a quick analysis, pick at low-hanging fruit, which includes a discussion with our construction managers and our architects about, hey, what are the things on this project that could end up possibly hurting someone? And so let's identify identify those, and let's identify some ways of fixing it, making sure that nobody gets hurt. And out of that information is shared with the contractor, regardless of the methodology that we use, the tools in our toolbox, essentially. And we say, hey, we've looked at the project, and these are some of the things that we think could be hazardous out here. Now, when you're developing your site-specific safety plan for us, which is required on all of the projects we run, take these into consideration and let us know how you're going to address these and how you're going to make sure that people are safe. We have contractual requirements, again, kind of stepping back a little bit, that each of the contractors present us with an acceptable project-specific safety plan, which is more than just a repetition of what the standards are. We want people to really look at what the job is going to be and identify what the unique and interesting hazards are and tell us how you're going to make sure that these hazards are addressed. So we'll take a look at that, and we use that prior to hiring in under certain tools we've got, the design build, CMGC, and actually the job order contracting. We take a look at that. We take a look at their approach to safety. We take a look at what their safety history might happen to be, and then we make decisions on whether or not they're going to come to work for us partially based on some of those issues, those identified qualifications that they've got. Under CMGC, after we get them under contract, they'll provide us with that information. And so we'll review it, see how well they did, what they're telling us, how they're going to approach things, and then have a conference with them and ask them about specific details. If we see something that concerns us, we'll bring it up, and if everything looks good, we're good to go. And the general theme is that goes right along with what philosophy in construction is the people that are best able to address the safety issues on a project are the people in control of that particular project, which would be our prime contractor that we have.
Got it. Boy, Ron, this is great.
Yeah. So, Ron, Don King here. Good morning.
Hi, Don.
Ron, are you folks able to take a contractor that is, say, do you have to go on low dollar, or can you go value added on your contracts?
It depends on the methodology for the project, and if we go design, bid, build, we are statutorily required to go with the low bid. Mm-hmm. And that can be great, and that can create some challenges. Particularly if it's someone that we haven't worked with in the past. And right. So with the folks with the contractors that haven't been here, we take a little extra time and pay a little extra attention to making sure that they understand what our expectations are and that they're meeting those expectations. With the other tools that we have with progressive design build, there's a selection of a contractor partnered with an architectural group, so they can essentially start from the dirt out there and tell us what they're going to build and how they're going to go about building it, and then essentially deliver us the product at the end, which is the building. During that, actually during all of the construction projects that we have, but during the selection of those contractors, we take a look at we have the ability to discriminate, I guess, in who we want to have working for us, and we want the best qualified firm. Same with the CMGC approach. We want the best qualified firm, not necessarily the lowest bidder.
Okay,
so,
good. Now, do you folks have a weekly progress meeting where you're interfacing with the contractor and their schedule and all that type of thing? Do you do that at the university?
Oh, absolutely, and every project has a weekly OAC, or owner, architect, and contractor meeting, where we'll sit down and we'll talk about issues that might happen to be coming up, or questions that anyone in the team might happen to have, and we try to start off every single one of those meetings with a discussion about safety. What are the things we've seen out there? What are the opportunities for improvement? Whether or not there might have been near miss or an injury reported on the project. project, and then we go from there.
Okay, very good.
So, Ron, tell us, like, I don't know if you got data for 2016, but the most recent data that you have on the general larger construction projects we have going here on campus. How we
I'm
doing?
happy to share that.
Yeah.
That's I'm a bit of a data geek, and I guess if you get into construction or into safety for any given period of time, you have to start looking at numbers, and most of it's historical, but it certainly tells you a story. So in 2016, a combination of what capital planning and development and our contractors' work was a little bit more than 1.5 million hours out here on our project. So we had an opportunity of employing a lot of people. Unfortunately, we had 15 of those folks who were working for us that suffered an injury that was bad enough to have to go to seek some medical attention. And of those 15, two of the people ended up not being able to come back to work the next day. So we ended up with 2 lost workday incidents. We had that gave us numbers, and we try to benchmark against what the state numbers are and against what the federal numbers are for particularly SIC codes. And so we ended up with a total recordable incident rate of slightly less than a 2. It was about a 1.97, and a lost workday incident rate of about a 0.26. And so, the real meaning of these numbers is that for us, about 2 people out of every 100 ended up getting injured to a point they had to go see a doctor. And about 1 person out of every 400 was hurt badly enough that they ended up missing work days. Fortunately, none of them were more than about 3 days off, so the severity wasn't as high as as we've experienced in some cases in the past. But still, it's a pretty severe injury that takes a person away from work. We have some other numbers we track also, and we kind of take a look at first aid reports, because that could be an indicator of, first off, what your culture of the jobs are out there, and whether or not people are telling you that they got injured. So we had 54 first aids reported last year, and in addition to that, we had another 46 reported near misses that were happening on our job sites.
Okay.
One of the approaches that we take is we get out and walk around and really kind of see what's going on. And we do this in conjunction with the contractors out there and with the subcontractors. And we actually performed 83 formal project job walks out there last year. Several of them we do on a monthly basis. Some of them we do every couple of weeks. And this is in addition to the weekly safety walk that's required by standard. This is where we as an owner get out there and get engaged and really kind of try to identify what's been happening.
Boy, Ron, this is great. Hey, help put us in perspective. So let's just look at that, like that number less than 2, 1.97, but roughly 2%, 2 per 100 full-time workers, your total recordable incidence rate, which is all medical treatment beyond first aid.
Right.
Give us some ideas of maybe, if you know right off, what's the average number in construction in Washington State, for instance?
Well, looking at Washington's numbers in the same SIC code, the average is about a 5. And, so essentially we're talking about 5 people out of 100 that are having to go to the doctor. And even more kind of surprising is that the lost workday incident rate for Washington is about a 3.5. So, essentially, if you're looking at this, of those 5 out of 100 that are missing, are having to go to the doctor, 3.5 of them are hurt badly enough that they can't come back to work.
Got it. And that would be days away or restricted or transfer, that type of thing. So you're more than 10 times less than that average level of days away, restricted, or transfer, and way more than half of the average of the total recordable incidence rate.
Yeah, our folks are doing a good job out here.
Excellent. I mean, we can certainly have a goal to to reach zero, but you're on the right track, you know. So we're not there yet, and we'll probably still have a job, all three of us, over the next year or two or three, because we didn't work ourselves out of a job yet, but we're sure trying.
Yeah, trying as hard as we possibly can on this, Rick. Yeah, and there's so much that is a relationship between the injuries that are occurring out there and the atmosphere of the employers and the jobs that they have. You know, people have a good cooperative atmosphere where they're open to be able to talk about things and they can bring up issues that are of concern to them. We see consistently that they have the lower incident rates.
Yes. Do you have a nurses station what they can go to at the university, or do they go to clinics?
Generally, it's clinics, and we really have our contractors make the decision on how they're going to address these things. Of course, standard requires that you have a certain number of folks out there that are going to have the ability to first aid if something happens. But sure, for the most part, our contractors elect to use clinics, or if it's a bad enough injury, unfortunately, we've had the ambulance have to respond and sure, take them to an emergency room.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, good.
So, Ron, it has just been great to talk to you today about how we're doing and so much construction going on in the future. And I should say that new public health, global health building, that's part of our department is in there. We're the Department of Environmental and Occupational Health Sciences of the School of Public Health. And so we're also looking forward to that. And we're also the Region 10 OSHA Training Center. We're covering Washington, Alaska, Oregon, and Idaho. So it's great. All our listeners out there will have folks from all over. And Don, any last thoughts or words of wisdom for us?
Well, I guess after listening to Ron talk about their jobs out here and what they're doing, it seems like a saying by Carl Jung is, we cannot change anything unless we accept it. And condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses.
Hey,
so,
I like it.
Yeah, very true. I like it.
Thank you to our listeners today.
And to all of you out there, watch out for each other and take care of each other. And aloha.
I was young and feisty, never did things by the book. Just let me get my toolbox and I'll take myself a look. I climbed up on the dozer with my mechanic's pride. Said, you can keep it running, friend, while I poke around inside. Shake hands with danger, meet a guy you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety, now they call me Three-Finger Joe. Though I learned a lesson, I forgot it soon enough. The nicks and burns and scratches showed the young ones I was tough. Till another morning, I was grinding on some steel. My other hand got careless and fed my skin into the wheel. Shake hands with danger, step right up and say hello. Grinding wheels and metal, I what made me Three-Finger Joe. I've seen mechanics burning, and I've seen them take a fall just to save themselves a minute, and I've seen them lose it all. I've watched them courting trouble, seen them take a chance and lose. They get careless for a moment, spend a lifetime with the blues. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger and some friends I used to know. Compared to them, I'm lucky to be just Three-Finger Joe.